Hi, Rebecca Goodenough, sixth grade math science teacher. This year I'll be at McLaughlin. I have been teaching the past 4 years at McClintock. So as you can tell, I've said before, I get just a few ELLs each year, but it's still important to know how to advance them forward in the proficiency standards. So today we're talking about Competency 1F. Candidates know, understand, and apply Washington State's approved English Language Proficiency Standards. I'm going to start with a little background just to help me keep it all straight in my head. So the purpose of the ELP standards is to help teachers gather information needed to ensure that classroom instruction meets the individual academic and linguistic needs of their ELLs. There are 10 ELP standards, which are organized into 3 domains of modality. They are receptive, productive, and interactive. Receptive involves proficiency level and skills in reading and listening. Production involves proficiency level and skills in speaking and writing. And interactive involves all of the above. So it is listening, speaking, reading, and writing. The proficiency levels are labeled 1 through 5 and sometimes referred to as beginning, early intermediate, intermediate, early advanced, and advanced. And the descriptors for each level really help me determine where a student falls on the proficiency levels when I have to do ELP cards every year. And the ELPA 21 test results allow me to see where the student is and where I need to take him or her in order to have them test out by the bilingual descriptor if needed. And also, I think more students need to know the goal for them is to test out that we want them to be bilingual, we want them to be biliterate. Being a sixth grade teacher, I'm sure those who understand middle school know this, kids get tired of testing. They, and so sometimes I've even had this, my own child be this way. He's admitted to it. They just pick whatever it is. They don't even like read the question, just pick what it is. I know I've had students like that, and I've had to explain to them, look, you can move past ever having to take this test again if you get a certain score. So the goal is to do and show us what you know so that you hopefully test out. Um, and then after they test out, I believe in Pasco School District, we tracked them for 3 years just to make sure we didn't exit them too early. They're still hitting those academic standards, all those good things. So what I learned about ELP standards, I learned some in my teacher preparation program, but I'd say the majority of what I've learned and really used to come to understand what's going on is the ELP card trainings. And I go every year because you get, they show you how to do your cards, and it's it kind of forces you to do them and get them in on time. So I've kind of enjoyed that. Plus, there always seems to be some little change or something, and they're really good about explaining that. But so if you don't go to the trainings for Pasco School District ELP cards, I recommend you do go because I think it's a really great opportunity. But so they have definitely taught me the most on how to use all the information and apply it the best way. They showed me how to read the ELPA 21 results. Which again, sometimes those can change just little bits every year, or it's like every time you go, you learn a little bit more about what it is and what it can do and how to read it. So again, I'm not here to promote their program, but I do really believe in it because I really have taken a lot away from it. Plus, there's always really good assistance there. I've had the opportunity to talk about specific students I have with those in our district that really know what's going on to say, hey, I have this student that does XYZ and how can I help them? I've had them offer to come out and observe a student before to see if maybe they should be labeled bilingual in the bilingual program, but for some reason were missed because, that's just paperwork, government, that's how it is. But so, um, so you can take the ELPA 21 results and apply those results to know what your ELL students know or are struggling with to advance into a new level. Last year, I don't remember how, I had like maybe 2 or 3 students. It wasn't a lot. They were all pretty high up. I had a lot of 4, like the majority of them were 4s about to exit out. This year I had 5. One was a Russian speaker, the other 4 were Spanish, and they were all stuck at 3. And they had been at 3 for as far as I could tell, looking back on the test results, quite a few years. So I spoke directly with the people at the card training of like, hey, what can I do to like bump these? So they showed me how to like look at, read the results, use it to like bump them forward. And I had actually excitedly been working with a couple of students really hard because I learned where their deficit kind of was in the test and what they needed more help with. And then sadly, thanks to COVID-19 and the shutdown, I never got to see their ELPA results. I don't think I believe they didn't get to test because all testing was shut down before we had the opportunity to test sixth graders. So it just kills me because I really wanted to see if what we did was working. I took the time to explain. I met with their language arts teacher because, like I said, I'm math science, and we talked about some things we could do to try to really bolster their writing because that's the skill they needed the help with. And we really worked with them in writing, and I think we were all excited to see what could possibly be, and then we didn't get to find that out. But um, so I the purpose of them is to kind of know where your students are, where to take them. I love the descriptors. The It's so convenient for me to be able to sit, look at examples. I always bring examples of their writing and some other test results with me to the trainings, but definitely the writings, thinking about them, I have to think about them in class when it comes to the speaking and listening part. Like, do they really know it? Do I just think they know it? But I love the descriptors because they really help me decide, is this student a 3? Are they a 4? Are they like a 4? Or I can even look at what were they marked last year and do I agree with it? Or do I think, oh, I think they've moved from there. Or, oh, maybe this person didn't understand descriptors. It varies. But this descriptors are so beneficial for finding out, like they break things down so succinctly of like, can the student do this? And then you have to think about, look at examples and be like, well, does the student do that or do they not do that? And if they do it, okay, go to the next level. Do they do this? And if it's yes, you keep going up a level until it's no, they don't do that. And that becomes, so you can decide what level they're at. But it's great to just kind of see where I love it. I'm just one of those data people, so I love seeing where they are and where I can take them, and I think this does a great job at showing me how to do that.